Okay. No. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with last seat number 29 with Moonbeam on art, life, crypto, and more with my co-hosts all dolled up from Sharby. Everyone say
Good
hello to Dacky.
morning.
Hello, Dacky. So I came back from Comic-Con. And you have yet to go, correct?
No, I've never been. But tell
Mm.
us, give us like, I don't know, give us like what was the best part? Did you meet anyone new? Yeah. I mean,
So
just
the
give us an
one of the
update
best.
and travel update. How was flying? I'm
Okay,
curious.
so it was $47 to upgrade to first class. So like, of course, I did that.
Again? Oh,
Heck yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's like every time I go to New
Yeah.
York. Um,
Okay.
and then I think I could have gotten first class on the way back, but I was so I probably should have. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We had because of like the government shutdown. I guess there's a lot of TSA workers and air traffic controllers that are just like, I'm not getting paid, I'm not going in. So like it took the actual TSA thing that didn't take too long going out of Ohio to New York,
Hmm.
but we were delayed like an hour, which is like
Okay.
kind of like maybe an hour and a half, which is kind of okay. I was gonna have to wait in New York for a friend to arrive anyway. Um, we get to New York. I think we get to our hotel. We immediately go to dinner, and then we have this unofficial VeVe meetup, and I paid for one drink, and then whoosh, like everyone. So have obviously not a con, but you and Hero have gone to events before, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. How many people offer to buy him drinks? I'm guessing, especially from the SHIRO community, like, yo, let me buy you a drink. Thanks for keeping this project alive.
Yeah. Yeah, like in Toronto, we had a dinner and I think it was supposed to be like 6 of us, right? And it turned out to be like 30 plus people. Like we all ended up congregating at this like restaurant. The owner like closed down the basement for us. So you can imagine like everyone, I think that's where we ended up at karaoke afterward. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it just happens. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So everyone was buying me drinks, which was great. And then there's a couple people there that I hadn't met. I mean, and there was people there that I supposedly met a bunch of times, and I'm just one, I was drunk, but two, I was so bad with that. So this is the first time I drank. I had only drank 2 days in September, and then I drank obviously 2 days in October for the con. What's up, Mr.
Okay.
MC1? Just talk about you. All good things. All good things. Um, Mr. MC1 is probably one of the lead, I would say, event coordinators in the VeVe. He's not like an official event coordinator for VeVe. That title belongs to our good friend VeVe Magic. But he's coordinated a bunch of parties, a bunch of influential people. He's coordinated a bunch of groups. He's exceedingly good at what he does, and that's just like a hobby of his. So on this
Awesome.
unofficial event, there's maybe like 50 people there. We're all having a blast. Little hungover on Friday. I have the ticket for Comic-Con. I think we get there at like maybe 12:30 because we were hurting. So get a couple of egg sandwiches. We get some. I'll get some Gatorade, and then like 3 o'clock. We're like, all right, feeling good, and I was good because people asked me. People be sneaking a bunch of stuff into the con. They're like, "Yo, you want some of this? You want some of this?" Like, oh no, I gotta wait till tonight. I'm Gucci fam. Uh, and so then at the con, it was during Friday, the entire crypto market just got completely nuked.
Yes.
So there was a couple of things that were available for sale at the VeVe booth for Omi, and it was already at a discount. And then, but that they had posted the prices that morning, then the price tag. So it's like, oh, okay. So something that was like $109, $112, whatever, was you could get for literally like 65. So um I spent I think a couple million Omi there, which $1 million at that time was like maybe $250. Now it's like $220. Um,
Okay.
but it's like I don't know when it feels there are some times where I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna order from someplace different on DoorDash because they don't have the $4 delivery fee. Like I'm conscious about that decision. But then in crypto, I'll be like, it's $6,000. I don't, whatever. So in crypto, it's like, oh yeah, just a couple million OMI. I got hundreds of millions of OMI. So let me buy this. And this was sober too. And then I don't have it with me. So there's these like things like one of 3,500, one of 1,000, one of 500, then like a one of 50. I wound up getting, I bought 4 of them. I wound up getting a one of 3,500, or actually 2 of those, a one of 1,000, and then a one of 500. So I think I actually made money on the deal. I just got to go. I haven't sold any of them yet. The con was great. Just seeing everyone was awesome. A lot of people from Germany came, a lot of people from the Netherlands. This girl, Jana, that I've known since 2021 in like the Earth2 days, might even be 2020, was there. I was like, oh my God, this is so epic. Known her for years. But just like on Instagram and like on YouTube, not really on like.
And you got to meet IRL, which is always awesome.
So there's a bunch of people as well that were like, hey, where's the let me get a picture, and be like, hey, remember last year? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't remember last year. So I'm just gonna text Moonbeam here real quick, just to see like, ready whenever you are. And then at that night, so our friend Sparky she took the day off, and it was like, oh yeah, come meet us at the con, come do whatever. And she's like, yeah, okay. So she took the day off, and she was driving in from Philly, but she didn't leave like early. She left at like 3 o'clock. I was like, what? Well, you could have just gone to work. Like, why would you? Anyway, so we're like, yeah, come meet us for dinner. We'll be here. And she's like, so one of my favorite parts before this wasn't a party. So right now in the room, it was me, this girl Tammy, and this girl Yostef, and we're waiting to go to dinner. We're just waiting for a couple people, and I was like, you know what? We got like an hour here, 45 minutes. I'm gonna put on a stream. So I go live, and so they were there, kind of just in and out. They were getting ready, doing makeup or whatever. And then I was like, hey, Dr. Stuff is gonna be here in like 20 minutes. Can someone like go downstairs and get him? And this guy Spencer, we're all meeting at this hotel. So they wind up coming in, and then we're in this like small hotel room, but there's like 5 of us there, and it's just that was fun. Just I don't know if the 5 of us had been in a hotel or had been in the same spot at one time, and we weren't drinking or partying it. I think everyone was sober at this point. It was just I don't know how to explain it. There's this meme that I saw just like years ago, where it's just like this is the life, and it's just there's a couch and a girl like sitting long ways on the couch playing like her DS. There's a guy like sitting right below her playing like Nintendo. There's pizza everywhere. There's like Pokemon everywhere, and it's just like it looks like an awesome time. You're like, yeah, this is the good life.
That was that moment.
And this was that moment. Like everyone's just like kind of catching up, and we're all like hugging each other, and it's like, damn, this is what, like, fuck man, this is life. This is like
I love that.
I felt like that scene in Lord of the Rings, which I assume you haven't seen. In Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Samwise Gamgee's talking to Frodo. He's like, these are the moments that stay with you, Mr. Frodo. And I was like, oh yes, this moment, totally. Yeah, I hope I remember that forever.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah. I keep muting because my kids are home for I think it's now called Indigenous Peoples Day, but he is gaming and he's being very, very loud. So if you hear a loud sound in the background, it's just my 15-year-old being obnoxious.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm trying to get on, but the internet is not letting her be great. So I'm gonna send a link. There, meow. I saw. Have you ever watched Sopranos? I feel like probably not, but
okay, I've seen a few.
So Tony Soprano has this thing. It's like he discovered America is what he did. He was a great Italian explorer, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. And the meme has been circulating today, and I love it.
Yes. Yes. I'll have to look for it.
So one of my favorite things. I don't know where I posted this. I think this was in. Oh, can't show that. It was a 35-second 38-second video. No, maybe it was 19-second video. And I know I know I sent it to someone. I think, did I send it to Sparky? Okay, it's gonna be in my 2 days. No, it was on Friday. That was okay. So here's what we do at the VeVe fam.
Right.
Okay.
I can't.
Dude licked his hand. So we were giving each other like slap shots. Just
Okay.
like
Okay.
wrestling chest chops. What's up, Moonbeam?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How you
Yes.
doing?
Okay, yay. Good, good. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well. We're catching
Doing
up from
well.
New York Comic-Con. All Dolled Up has finished season 1 of Stranger Things and is now on
Uh-huh.
episode 1 of season 2.
Super
So
cool.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
What
it,
about
it
you,
really is.
Moonbeam? What'd you get up to this weekend?
Nothing. Just been creating. I'm like a in the candy store when I get a new platform or something I'm working on and I really like it. I just keep going. So it's just been working on short films and graphics and advertisements for companies I do freelance for. So it's normal everyday nerd weekend.
Yeah, I do a sometimes the creative mood strikes and it's just like you gotta like it's like hitting all the green lights in a row. Like your turn was like, 6 blocks back, but you can't pass up that opportunity. You have to keep going to see how many green lights you hit. And just like, yeah, it got to me and I have to write and I'm on a roll and I can't, these thoughts are going to go away if I stop writing now. So I understand getting lost in that. But
That is
so
exactly
movie,
the truth.
tell us in 30 seconds or less, or you could take more, but just as a quick intro to everyone, who is Moonbeam? What does she do? Where does she belong?
Um, just kind of like a light sometimes you can't see all the time. And when you do, you're just kind of glad that she's there because I like to create things, visual pieces that it kind of brings light and happiness to people. So,
Like Jesus.
no, more like happy, like a happy sprite fairy. They call them sprites or fae. It's just like a moon fae. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
are you familiar with so where do you come from in this world, Moonbeam? What part of the world are you, or other universe? But let me know.
And actually, I'm from Fort Belvoir, military base.
From where?
My Fort Belvoir in Virginia,
Okay, cool.
Fairfax. Yeah, I was born in military base.
Nice. And so you're probably your dad, I'm guessing, was in the service.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
And
was in Vietnam. He used to work in the White House. Yeah, he used to work in the White House,
epic.
opening the doors for president. Yeah, my uncle was a Green Beret in Vietnam. It's like I'm from a
Yeesh.
long line of military.
Yeesh. Was that a super strict upbringing?
No, my dad was like a hippie. He was really cool. After I was born, he was ready to get out, and but I just was. We are taught to kind of, really take care of yourself, like, and think, put yourself in other people's shoes, protection, and but it wasn't really put their foot down. There's some families that they do have that. They go through that. So yeah, mine was pretty fun. It
So
was
you so
nice.
your dad's from native to America as well?
Uh, my ancestors are from England, but everybody nearest down the line is usually America.
Cool. And ancestors from England. Sweet.
Yeah.
The how did you do that? Did the genealogy? Did you track where you're from? Like, oh yeah, we
I,
actually tracked all the way back from Ancestry family came over from the Mayflower type of deal.
At the well, everybody kept saying my last name is so odd, and I always thought it was British or English, and I looked it up by last name. It could be wrong because I'm telling you, these things are not always right. But it gave me peace for a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that's your name. So it puts you not just sitting there wondering. I guess my name is just long and odd, so.
Understand. So when you were growing up, I don't know how many crayons fit in the Crayola box here, but how did you get into art? Was it just someone bought you like the 64 pack? How did you get into creating stuff?
Melting my Crayolas. Those little heater vents
Yeah,
that you had when you lived in like an old school trailer? I melted my crayons on there, and it was the coolest thing in the world. Just seeing those colors like go how they wanted it to go together. And you have no idea how it was gonna. I got in trouble that day, but it made me just see colors. And I've always been like a singer artist in that way, but I don't know. I could never draw like a stick. I can't draw like people. Like some people are so really good at doing like perfectionist. They can look at something and they draw it. I'm more of an abstract. And then when I got started doing graphic design, it was easier to be an abstract artist because they're not looking for somebody that's going to draw a house. You know what I mean? So I think it was that crayon moment, melting my crayons together.
I do like the octopus with wings that you have drawn.
I'm a
So
huge octopus fan. Yeah, thank you.
it's awesome. When you said you had called yourself compared yourself to a fairy, is there a does that go back to like the old meaning, like the good people? Does that, or is that something like newer, where it's like, oh yeah, like a Tinkerbell type fairy?
It's the same Bay. I think a lot of people got them like really confused. Like I think they're the dwellers, like the protector dwellers, because a lot of people say they still see them, but there's good and bad in everything. So I always thought lightning bugs were fairies, and I was like, they could fly, and it was like owned after that. I was like, if I could fly and light up, and then I just think
So,
I'm a good fae. I like a creative.
are you a believer in the supernatural?
I do. I do actually believe in supernatural.
Which ones specifically? Is it all of them? Is it certain cryptkins? Is it just ghosts? What are
Pretty
the
much
things?
all of them. Anything that people think they may have seen, um, probably they did see something. So, I tend to know that there's something there. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, do you believe in aliens? And I'm like, well, I am an alien if another species land on this planet. So I get keep people confused like that. But I think that there's kind of like all kinds of realms. I just don't mess with them. You know what I mean? It's
I
okay
try.
to know if they're there, but
I love that. I love those rabbit holes as well. They're like, hey, this like let's say like octopus or octopi. There's like these kind of don't really resemble it. We don't know how they evolved. We don't know, but they're hella smart and they're hella awesome and just yeah.
they're my favorite.
I could tell based on your drawing. So if you like sea life, question. Um, do you guys remember? Well, first I'll ask you without showing you an image. Do you remember a seahorse emoji that was like in people's emojis? And it was like popular back in the day.
No, but I wish we had it. I love
So
seahorse.
apparently, although Dub, have you ever seen a seahorse emoji or like remember it being popularized like years ago?
No, but I've seen like the mermaid, but not the seahorse.
A mermaid emoji?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I remember seeing a mermaid emoji. I do, however, believe in mermaids, like, in real life. Anyway, so a friend of mine was texting me about, like, do you remember seahorse emoji? I was like, well, send me a picture. I don't know. And she texted me this photo, and I was like, oh, I do remember something like that, but I can't remember if it was an emoji or if it was just like from like a casino slot machine or in a book or something. So apparently it's one of those Mandela effect things, and apparently ChatGPT spirals over it. Like ChatGPT remembers it too, but supposedly it never existed. So I don't know if ChatGPT is AI Mandela. Moonbeam, what is your take on? You said your dad was in Vietnam,
Uh-huh.
and had served there, and he was getting out by the time he had you. So we're just guesstimating age here, but you have what likely seen uh, many inventions, and you've likely seen a few leaps and bounds of technology.
Oh yeah.
What do you make of Earth nowadays, from the
It's so
time that you were a gal to now?
it is so cool, and I do believe in the Mandela effect. I mean, I know it's hard for people to understand. It just is there, and it just is, but it's been cool because I was here before microwaves, and the microwave came out. Me and my mom just microwaved everything in the kitchen, and we were like, "Dad, look, this took like 30 seconds," and we were just flipping out. And this isn't, it was fun. And then you have the phone with the actual cord. I don't know if y'all remember those with the rotary. So and then cell phones, obviously the beeper. It's been. I'm glad it went fast because I love computers, and we were taught on the Commodore 64 in computer
Oh,
class.
heck yeah.
Yeah, with the floppy disk, and you turn it on, and there's a C prompt, and that's it, you guys. That's it. You code from here on out, and it would take like 3 or 4 pages just to get like a ball to get from one end to the other. It's like they really need to do something. It's like this is ridiculous. Why are we learning this? So I learned code first, and then the Atari came out. Oh my gosh, the games now. I love technology. I think the Earth is it's like and people are usually like, why can't we all get along? And it's like impossible because you have these people over here saying, well, I want you know the new PlayStation 3, and they're like, well, I never even got the Atari, and it's like kids arguing over a game, and you just want to give them what they want so everybody can be happy. And with technology, I think it's chilling like a lot of countries out, like a lot of less war. People don't feel like they're left out. It's easier to understand. But it is taking over, jobs. I think people should be more educated. I think they should, because I love teaching my children stuff. But yeah, it's been fun.
I think that well, yeah, tech has been great, and going from the Commodore 64, so I want to go back to the microwaves for a second. I just Googled it, and apparently widespread adoption started in like the 70s.
Mm.
But at that point it was like hundreds of dollars in the 70s. Like, damn, that's a lot. But then I guess it became a lot more commercial in like the 80s. What years did you get the microwave?
See, I was born in 72.
Mm.
So I think it was probably maybe 74 or 75. I remember the day that I can remember it visually, but not the exact year.
I just
Yeah, 70s are crazy. I've loved it. I'm having fun. Nobody ever can guess my age because I was real particular. But I was like, I didn't want to grow old. So I started using like a lot of oils and creams, and I do not look. I'm 53, and I mean, I get carded. And
really.
yeah, I was like, I don't want wrinkles. I don't want, gray hair. and I use like plant extract stuff, Botox and collagen and stuff like that. I started when I was 20, late 20s. It pays off because the sun will just ruin you. And now growing older, I'm growing more. It's not growing old. Because honestly, I won't take you down the rabbit hole. I don't believe much in time because we made it up. So, by the sun. So, if that sun wasn't there, time wouldn't exist at all. That's what people. So, I don't know. But yeah.
I had an ex that had for like 20, she would get carded from the time, I mean, obviously when you're young, but even when we dated, and when we dated, she was actually, I think I'm now 1 year older than she was when we did. This is like a long time ago. It was like 10, 12 years ago. But it wasn't until recently, now that she's like in her 40s, that she finally stopped getting carded. I was like, damn, finally. She stayed the same age. I'm so jealous of people that have those, just the genes that make you look young forever. I hate them. I don't hate. I'm just jealous. Anyway, there's another friend of mine that had taken some shrooms recently, and I'm curious what you think about this. He said that time is not real, and so for me, when I'm on, I think any psychedelic, time's not real, like especially acid. And I have seen, the last time I saw this. This was in December 22. I was on a cruise with a friend, and I was looking out on the water, and there's nothing, like you couldn't see land. Like you knew it was out there, you just couldn't see it. And it looked like a video game, because it's like, oh, something's out there, but it just the world hasn't rendered it yet because you're not close enough. And then I saw the Earth was on like a grid pattern, like it was a bunch of squares, like Earth 2. It was just like this simulation thing. And a friend of mine that had never taken shrooms before, she took it like 2 nights ago, and she had seen the grid as well, but she had seen it in triangles. And my theory is that, like, oh, the simulation that we're in used to be on a grid of squares and rectangles, but then it's updated to become more efficient, and now it's on a grid of triangles. And I don't know, Moonbeam, if you've taken psychedelics, why does time stop, or why does time not mean anything when you're on psychedelics? What are your
Because it's one of those. I love mushrooms, and I definitely did some paper in my day because that's reality, what we call reality. Because, for instance, if you live on Pluto, 1 year there, if we're following the sun, is 365 years here. So I wouldn't even be born. It's that's the it's like the unrealized realized, like, because it just doesn't. I mean, time is, there's no way to add it because I don't know. I would think 1 plus 1 in my life would be 11 because you're adding a 1 and a 1 beside of it. So in our visual minds, it would be 11. That's one of those things that's hard to explain because we're spinning at like thousands of miles an hour right now, and we don't feel it. And we're hanging like in this huge vast of what they used to call vacuum, and it's not. Sound travels through space. Light travels through space. I guess I could explain it. If you're in space and you hit something and you just keep turning and turning and turning and turning, that's what happens in space until you hit something else. That's what time is. It's not really, you can't judge anything by it because it's always gonna be different somewhere else. It's not gonna be the same time.
Does any of your philosophy of time and space and psychedelics, does that affect your art? And how does it influence, in what way?
Yeah, because I do abstract my physical art is abstract completely. And when I started doing prompts and coding and putting things to make my graphic designs, it was like I was an alchemist. I could put whatever I wanted to put in there, and then whether if I spelt the word wrong. I went through one where I did everything and spelled the words wrong completely. And it's like it's got a rhythm to it. So I don't know. I always call it the just unseen, because once you see some of it, none of it you would never picture that together. Usually, I like to think of other worlds, and I don't know. It's a good question. You got me there.
When you draw, how much of it is influenced by feeling versus how much is influenced like by math, like angles, like Fermat's last theorem, or any type of do you follow any type of rule, or is it just whatever you feel?
It's a habit that I never, never, never want to let go of. Just like right now, I feel like drawing.
So
It's just
it's
a habit. It's like it's connected to me. Yeah, it's not like let's go to work. It's like no, I just work. This is what I do. It's
and
peaceful.
what's been your favorite creation so far?
I don't know. As far as I really like some of my older ones, but I'm leaning towards like in my like you said, the octopus going through the water in my films. Those are becoming some of my favorites right now. I don't have a favorite because I would pick out like so many that you'd be like, no moon. I was like, but I can't pick a favorite because this one goes with this one, or this one looks good with this one. None of them really. I don't want them to be by themselves. You know what I mean? They have to. It's weird, but in my fashions, the fashion design ones, those are one of my favorite collections. Period. That's a hard one for an artist. I wonder if anybody else has that problem. I can't really pick out a favorite.
I have that for writing, where some of the stuff that I do is uh like the ones where I think like, okay, I'll write this is just a job. Like the ones that I'm usually not excited about writing, those are the ones that tend to be like, oh shit, this is really good. Um, I imagine you might have that in like there's stuff that you create like for yourself. I want to do this, and then there's something that you're paid to create. Like, man, I didn't know I was going to do this, and this is a fantastic job.
Yeah, I'm a writer. As I'm saying, I'll find myself sitting, and if I have an idea to go, and because I have like quite a few screenplays going, and these are all before ChatGPT, and a lot of them
Yeah,
are done. Finally, I'm around people, influential people that'll be able to read them, but I'll get that idea and I go until I'm like, okay. And then another little brainstorm will come. I'm like, yes, that's got to go there. So I have pieces of paper like everywhere, so, and then when I'm ready to compile all of that, I have to remember, I write on there. I'm thinking, one of the last original writers. I write on there and copyright it. And I'm like, okay, this is going to go here. But it happens anytime. You'll get the idea of a movie. You're like, oh my gosh, and you just fill it out. Comic books. I have a children's book that's published. I love comic books though, but I'm not like a comic book writer. I can come up with ideas, but I'm more of like a science fiction. If I met Ridley Scott, I'd probably pass out, or James Cameron. I would probably pass out just because I mean, I don't know. Just
I see. I get that.
proceed.
I had a meeting. Well, I had a couple meetings at New York Comic Con this week for DeCat. I think I told you about that on the space we were on last week.
Uh,
Um, and one of the guys, that I was talking to, they've already got a couple comics on VeVe. They're like, hey, this sounds really interesting, but like one of their characters, which is a human, they're like, hey, all these characters seem kind of like they're animals. Like, how would this work? I was like, well, there's humans in DeCat world too. But basically, he said like, listen, send me a 1-page write up of what a crossover would look like. I was like, okay, cool. So I had to like read all of the comics, and the ones that are on VeVe, like the first couple, like sold out. Like they were popular enough to sell out. And then I read them, and like the first one, there's really like 2 characters in the entire book. Like there's other characters, but they have no names. That you don't remember them, but there are 2 characters. Like, okay, these people are important. And so I haven't like put the idea together yet of how it would be, but I've had those ideas with like Nike the Pig. Like someone puts an idea like in my brain, and then I'll write it. Who puts those ideas in your brain for writing or for art? Does it pop in there? Do you sit down and say like, okay, I want to make this, and you force it, or does it does the inspiration come from somewhere else?
Mine just come up, and because I invent stuff, like I'd like to solve unanswered formulas, like the Bill's conjecture. You know, they just come up. I don't know. And when I want to solve something, usually, like I've come up with a formula and a math that will answer all the unanswered ones, or at least explain to you. You know, there's a
Tell us
lot of
about that.
variables people leave out of things. Like
Like
it's
Fermat's last theorem, Riemann hypothesis. What tell
like the
us
longest runner hypothesis. I think the first one you said, I can't pronounce it. This is like the Beal's conjecture, Beals conjecture, where they all had to have they all had to have a common prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wrote a formula to explain. It's kind of hard. I love doing that though, because I'll sit there and I'll be watching, different shows. Like I like to watch What Lurks Beneath. I think he's a freaking awesome guy podcast. But there's a few of them, and ideas will pop up. Like when they found all that stuff underneath the pyramid, the charging station. My mind goes crazy right now. You know what that was used for, or how that got there. Because like Stonehenge, who did that? Well, we did have giants, and that's proven now. So maybe it was a baby giant. He put it together like kids do, like Legos or like dominoes. People don't look at those theories. So I don't know. It's crazy. They just pop up.
So going to, you said the Beal conjecture. You said you have a formula that could help like solve that?
Not necessarily solve that, but actually, my book is the answer for all unanswered formulas with a question mark. And you'd have to. That's what I'm finishing that one, hopefully by the end of next year. But I've got a lot of things that if people just sat down and realized it and put that formula into this formula, they either may get the answer, or we get like any answer, we can keep trying. Because there's no answer. There, you know what I mean? Sometimes there just isn't one. A lot of people don't put that into play.
I mean,
Sometimes answer's
if
not here
your
yet.
formula leads to that answer, if I'm not mistaken, there's
A
like
huge
$1 million
prize.
bounty on that.
Yeah, I've sent it in. I'm in a long waiting line. I did send that in.
Where did you study?
Um, just regular. I went to. Are you talking college? Because I did
Yeah.
not go to college. I didn't go to college. I was going in the military. But then something drastic happened in the family, and I really don't think they think I'd get back. So I actually became a bar assistant manager, nightclub assistant manager in a 5-star Holiday Inn, very elegant place.
Yeah.
So I was a nightclub and bar manager for years.
And then but you must have always had an aptitude for math to be able to not just kind of recognize some of these problems, but to attempt to
Yeah,
find solutions.
it's weird. Yeah, and you like on mushrooms and stuff. It even enhances mine. I like it because I can actually focus on the problem that I'm doing. I guess that's why I get so focused. But yeah, I worked other jobs, so I did try to go to college, but they were like a really poopy school, like a shoddy school. So I did a lot of stuff. Like I did taxes for a couple years. I was self-taught on
So
everything I did.
on something like finding patterns, I assume you could find it in like pi. Like what's something you found in like Pascal's triangle?
I didn't. I never looked, and that's the kind of person I am. It's like I could know about Pascal forever and not even research it and do my work, and then I could look it up today and I would be like, wow, I was calling it this. That's the kind of person I am. I don't know everything. And people are influenced by other people. And I try to keep, like, when I'm writing, I don't like to watch too many movies because it gets in my way. So I wouldn't be able to pick anything.
There's a wait, so when you're writing, you don't like to admire the works of others?
I do admire the works of others.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm so busy now. I only watch a few movies every now and then, but I don't read it all anymore. But because I do Ray Bradbury, Shakespeare, you know, Ray Bradbury was really good, and Shakespeare was my favorite.
So
And
back to math. Is there in your book in this formula, what are the obviously we just went over the Beal conjecture, which goes to Fermat's last theorem. Is there anything that like a simpler problem that could be I know any unsolved problem is going to be crazy ridiculous, but is there something like, yeah, we're going to attack the P versus NP problem, we're going to try to solve string theory, like what's the
yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. Because it's gonna relax all of us that there actually could or couldn't be an answer yet. That's one of the things. They're not throwing that into the equation.
I
Like,
I
we
know you
actually
probably
may
you don't
never get the answer for another million years. So, I don't know. I don't know.
and
It's
I
one
know
of
you
those
can't go too much into it because it's an unreleased book or whatever, but like
there's just things that we haven't sat down and looked at all because they want to go A plus B equals equals AB. Well, maybe you should think about that for a minute. You know, there's
so
pros and cons to the way you're writing that formula. So there are other ways to write a formula that because we have that one, and the answer's always going to be the same answer. It's infinity.
what's the
But
name of the book?
um, the answer to all unanswered questions with a question mark at the end. Meaning, do I have it? I don't know if I have. I'm not having. It doesn't answer all the questions, but if in some cases it will shine a huge light, like Amadeus. He was magic, and just come to him. They'll be like, "Oh my god, I did not think of that." That's the kind of person I am. Like, I want people to get those answers they're searching for.
I am
'Cause-
I'm very excited for that, to see what it can do. I will pre-order this book. I will read it live. That'll be
okay.
but honestly, there's probably going to be a bunch of things in there that I don't understand. So, might have you on to translate. Um,
Okay.
anyway,
I think you'll understand it more than you wouldn't. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
I'm curious on your thoughts of the Collatz conjecture and seeing like where the book will take us in that.
Actually, that's one I have not researched. There's some of them that I haven't.
It's just
I
like
have a
starting
list.
with any positive number and then repeatedly apply, a simple set of rules, you'll eventually reach the number one.
That's just impossible. You were at number one right
Like the
then.
rules are if the number is even, divide it by 2. If it's odd, multiply it by 3 and add 1. So like
Right,
it's
but they're still trying to make one number the number they've already passed. They're
yeah,
not
I
putting
mean just apparently with whatever number you choose, if it's even, divide it by 2, and if it's odd, multiply by 3 and add 1. And then despite it being so simple, no one's really been able to prove or disprove it yet. There's just so many numbers out there. I assume with AI, you'd be able to do it much quicker. But yeah,
I'm gonna look into that one today. Now you got my brain going.
yeah,
I have to
that
look
one,
into
yeah,
the
because
things that interest me. Yeah, I
it
love
just
stuff.
takes time.
Yeah, and years. I mean, it really does. Some of these things I thought of when I was little, and it's like that song you thought you knew the words to that you were singing like your whole life, and you grow up and that wasn't the lyrics.
Oh
It
yeah, that's
really sounded like
Mandela
it.
effect. Like brings us back to the seahorse.
Yeah, I think I saw a seahorse. I have to
In an
say, but
emoji.
yeah,
It's weird
there.
that ChatGPT was spiraling over it because it remembered it too, but it never existed. So I was very curious if ChatGPT remembers something that was in like a different universe or a different time. Um, do you believe in quantum immortality?
Immortality is a
The
tough
quantum
word.
version.
That's tough. I don't think the only thing I think that has immortality is whatever is over everything. Like the is, the numero uno. I
For
don't quantum and infinity it's just eternity. I don't believe it's like we have an eternal jellyfish, but something can kill it. Yeah, so that's the same way I feel about that, I guess.
the quantum one is slightly different because it just states that out of all of the different universes that there are, which who knows how many, probably unlimited, that if you die in one universe, your consciousness gets transported to another very similar universe. Like there's a bunch of examples on Reddit, and I've even had it too, like in my dreams, or like I'll be like, oh, I'm with this guy that I used to work out with, but he was like dealing like steroids and a deal went wrong, and then now people are like shooting at me and I like die in the dream, and it's like, oh, and I wake up like, oh, okay, we're good. But there's been people that there's this one kid on Reddit, he's like had one of those jobs where it's like cash for gold, you spin a sign and you try to get people in there, and he a like white van like hopped the curb and it like crushed him like in between. It hit him and then hit like a telephone pole, and he died, and then suddenly he's like transported back into his body. It's like that just didn't happen. He's still spinning the sign. It's like, wait, I just got crushed. Like I need a minute. And he goes and he like goes to walk away, goes to sit down, and right where he was, a van just like hops the curb and hits that telephone pole. And it's like that literally just happened in my brain. And now I'm back here. And so that's just like the theory is that when other versions of you die, you're just transported into another universe where it's just very similar. And that's where I think the Mandela effect comes from. If this is like a real thing, that people remember things that were slightly different in another universe.
Kind of like deja vu could be a lot like that too. Like
Yeah.
in there, you've already
One of
been
the last
there.
girls I dated, we were in this hotel in Long Island, and we've never been to this hotel before, and we hadn't seen each other in like a while, and she's like, I just got an intense deja vu, and I was like, but there was like almost the only thing that was just really familiar was that we were just in a hotel, but it wasn't anyone that we'd been in before, and yeah, I found it like Moonbeam. You play a lot of video games, right?
Well, I used to. I create more now, but I used to play a lot of video games. I
So have you
usually
ever played Pokemon?
No, I am not a Pokemon fan. And I'm not a non-fan, but I'm not a. But I don't. No, I don't.
No.
I didn't play. I like Tomb Raider a lot. I was a Tomb Raider junkie.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, old school. PS. Okay, gotcha. So
yeah.
there's let's say like right after a save state in Tomb Raider where you're going somewhere, but you don't want to lose this life, and you just saved previously, and then you die. You could reset so that you didn't die, or you could just restart it from the time that from your last save state or your last checkpoint.
Your last checkpoint, yeah.
Even though that we know that okay, this avatar just died, and now you know like what to do or what not to do. Do you think somewhere deep in that computer code that the avatar remembers? Like the avatar knows, like, wow, I just died, and now we're doing this. And do you
Well,
think the avatar might know that it's being controlled?
yes. Well, that's what a glitch is to me. It remembered, so it laid down. Since it's laid down that code so many times, it created its own glitch. So therefore, it remembers it because it laid it down. Because that's what a memory is, and that's what computers are built. Like is a brain. So yeah,
Do you think
I
we're a
do.
video game?
No, I think we're something that we'll never really understand, which is really cool. I usually put it to people like this. I started believing something really cool, really, really cool when I looked and I noticed I'm a planet hanging in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by these other planets that aren't slamming into me every day. Then I was like, that's what it is. It's whatever it is, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, he can do anything. I mean, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
And I I I I give thanks to the creator every day just because it's another like blessing to be here. I think seeing supernatural stuff and these paradox, and learning all this stuff is like God's like or the little teacher going, I can't wait till he finds this little Easter egg I dropped in this game. And I think that's why we feel like a video game is because in our reality it could be, but it's not structured around so many humans because humans make mistakes. And our life and Earth and stuff, all this stuff wasn't structured by a lot of humans. It all came from like one entity. We all have DNA. So it came from one entity, which I think it's cool that people get to call it what they want. But yeah, that was a good question.
There's I feel like this keeps going back to time, and I mentioned the good people before. I don't know if it's this one or if it's um another one, because I think it happened in like somewhere in like Europe, in like Finland or Ireland or something. And yeah, this is definitely the wrong one. Oh no, we're in Newfoundland. I have to send something to you. It's on Reddit. I'll send it to you after this. Has the supernatural ever frightened you, or is it more mysterious and curious, and that overtakes any feelings of fear?
Oh no, I get scared to kaputzi. That was crazy. I mean, anytime, and that's what we used to be when we were kids. Your dad would everybody would be inside getting ready for Halloween. Your dad would be outside and make noises on the window or whatever. So no, it scares me. The more supernaturally it stays away, the better. You know, it's what because it just having an epiphany, and realize something. That's a different kind of supernatural power. Like you said, when we're on mushrooms, it's kind of a little different. I like that approach. And I wouldn't want to have like a yeah. It scares me.
Yeah. I have you ever gone down the rabbit hole of like TikTok? And I mean now it's hard because everything's like AI, but got previously gone down the rabbit hole on TikTok and being able to see things that other people have caught on video.
I've saw the videos of the things that people had not seen, which are really cool. Like, but I'm not a huge TikTok watcher at all because I'm usually creating. But I like the fact that it's nowadays it's so hard to tell what's real and not real coming from a graphic designer. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
Sora is
things that
insane.
you could do, yeah. But back in the day, before that, those when I see those reels, I'm like, wow, how did they do that? You know what I mean? So sometimes things that we think that just aren't real are the realest, is where I've come to find. So I don't know. I like watching those things though. Just the reels of like the Nautica thing. I watched a podcast on that. That was pretty crazy. And that's it's computed by a
Hmm.
quantum theory computer. If you've never watched that, the interview on that with the owner and the programmer of that app, you
Of
should
which
watch
one?
it. Random Nautica, where you
I
type
haven't.
in a random word.
Oh, so I haven't
Yeah.
seen that interview, but I've seen a bunch of people post about that where they're like, yeah, we go into this one place and they're all like creepy. Every now and then people, yeah, that's a very interesting rabbit hole. I like
Yeah,
those.
it is really crazy.
I
Because I
haven't
would want
seen.
to, I'd put in like treasure not found, cash someone forgot about. I would be. Those are the places I'd go. Yeah, you need to go down that rabbit hole. You'll like that stuff because it's crazy what they. Yeah, you're right. Everybody puts something scary. I'm like, what the, you know? It's not about being afraid. It's scary. I don't like watching scary movies much anymore. But
There's
I
a I don't know, if it in any type of ritual or any type of whatever where people have to chant something or people have to think real hard about something or scream something. It was seen as like witchcraft kind of back in the day, but and how much of it works, we don't know. But um, I feel like that's kind of the same thing as like people going to like a football game and they're chanting like defense or they all chant something. Like there does seem to be some type of power that people kind of have when they get together. And over the last few days, really, people were kind of getting together and they're like praying that this peace deal between Israel and Hamas would be signed, and it legit just got signed like 20 minutes ago. I just got the notification. Um,
God.
do you believe in that type of witchcraft, or do you believe in that there's something that people can do when a bunch of us get together and we like hope and speak something into existence real hard?
Yes, I do believe in the power of more because it's a energy you're focusing on, which is focusing on the need and the desire of whatever it is. But so many people do bad ways too. But I'm so glad there's ceasefire. Thank God because, but yeah, I do believe there's power in it. That's why there's so many people that like to have little things like that because you're bringing in that, you're accepting that power. But you should only do it for good,
Agreed.
not bad.
Speaking of power, there's some believe that the pineal gland is a gateway to other dimensions, and the government tries to block it by poisoning us all with fluoride. What do you think is the uh, do you think the government is that Whether it's that careless, do you think the government can be that evil? What are they trying to hide from us? What's your take on it?
I don't think necessarily the government really likes to hide anything. If you notice, there's a lot of fine small print and everything. It's in there. There's some way they told you without telling you, but they told you it's in there. That's how that works. Because I think there's just bad people everywhere. So I think there's some people that are in the government that make
Yeah,
it really difficult for. But as far as that, I don't know. Like conspiracies and the pineal gland is very important, and it's I think affected over and over years and years just because. And I think it's like Mother Nature, because to me, Mother Nature, what we call Mother Nature, is going to be the demise of us all. And I don't think the government would purposely do that. I just think that that is something that probably gets in the way. Just like other foods. Some foods are spiritual and are good for you, and some aren't. So, and a lot of people like to play the government, which
I do. It doesn't matter who's in office, left or right. It's just like, damn government. I don't know. I'm very distrusting of a lot of,
I don't
not,
trust it. Yeah, because I've been denied my disability since 2008, and
yeah.
I'm completely disabled, and that's my money. So I don't trust it. I worked my whole life saying, okay, I was gonna get that money, and no,
Gonna get that bread.
I'm
Go.
gonna get my own money. So like, whatever, whatever. But yeah, I see what you're saying. There are bad people.
So in the saying of government, they seem to have embraced crypto a little bit. What are some of your favorite projects that you've created for in the crypto and Web3 space?
That's a hard one. I've done stuff for all kind of cryptos, like coins and weed. Um, God, Quakey, DigiJoys. I think Pepe was one of my big ones. I've done work for a lot of them. Avalanche, on Arena. So I don't know. I couldn't name them all. I wouldn't be able to sit and name them all. I'm getting ready to sneeze. I've got to leave the room for 1 minute. Okay, I'll be right back.
Gesundheit in advanced.
I
And
know.
all up. How you doing over there?
I'm doing good. It's so interesting. Like a thing just popped up on my feed about a big crypto influencer that it looks like probably unalived himself over the
Yeah, in
weekend.
Ukraine.
And I think about like Web3 and crypto and all the like possibilities. And I love that Moonbeam is just like she's in her lane, right? Like
Mhm.
she's in her lane, and then there's like these things that happen externally, like in the market or just reading about this guy. Like um everyone's experience is different, and I want the whole aura of everything to be positive, but I don't know, I'm just sitting here thinking how we go forward and how we keep that the positive. I mean, there's so many possibilities with the technology and the art and people that get the positive side of it. It's interesting because Moonbeam, like, she just finds utter joy in what she does and what she creates. There's always that other side, right? We're talking about the interesting.
Yeah.
Thank
The
I don't know.
I hope this doesn't get like too woo woo for people. I feel like it probably has.
It has. It is a little. It is a little woo woo, but it's all right.
Got to bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it
And
back.
wait till Moonbeam returns. Moonbeam, you there?
yes, yes, I
Okay. All right.
do.
So we're gonna bring it back to reality here.
Okay.
What show are you obsessed with right now?
Oh no, show. I'm not. I'm usually just working.
Damn.
Honestly, I watch What Lurks Beneath every now and then. I like watching Saturday Night Live because I laugh. I love just to see their stupid stuff, but I really don't watch. I don't watch anything. I'm always
What
working on
about
my own.
songs? What's like your top 5 songs on your playlist that you're playing over and over?
Oh, I never play my ever. I trained in classical, and I've got some tracks that people are. That's why my voice sounds a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm losing my voice, but because I've been practicing a lot, so I'm anywhere from classical to Grateful Dead to Alanis Morissette, Old Pearl Jam. I would never be able to put a playlist because then I want to listen to Depeche Mode or The Cure. So that's what I like about AI and technology. I don't have to wait to flip through my radio to see are they playing It's Friday,
Yeah.
The Cure, and I can just look it up and I can listen to it right then. So I don't know. You're asking all these hard questions. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I've been asking questions for like an hour here. What's the
No, and I love classical. I really enjoy sitting there practicing classical and creating. That's my favorite. That's my biggest go-to. That's what I would have to do. Mozart.
what's the best what's something that I haven't brought up that you wanted to discuss, whether to advertise or just something you're into right now?
No, I think you've covered everything. Yeah, and to advertise, you just have to follow me. You'll see my art and where I'm going. I have a apparel store, and I'm getting ready to open up another one with another company. So you'll see what I'm doing along the lines. And yeah, you've asked all the coolest questions. I like the fact that you're interested. We may have to do this again on a different subject, like the theories and the theorems. And I like that somebody understands when you said what I was thinking. It's like, yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't get that.
When
Like,
that book comes out, we'll have you on again because that sounds incredible,
yeah, it will blow you away.
especially if
You'll
you get
be
that prize money.
God. Well, see, and I said that in I think 2 years ago. But I have another theory. That's the thing about theories, guys. It's just a theory. And if they would teach that in school, kids would learn better. I think this is our theory, you know, on this. Not this is how it happened, but
That's
yeah,
true.
it'd be nice. It'd be nice.
We'll get
It'd
that
be
bread. We'll hopefully our crypto bags go to the moon. We don't even need that $1 million. That would be great. Anyway,
yeah.
let's wrap it up here. We'll talk off camera for a minute. Um, everyone say bye-bye. Although, you got anything?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for joining, Moonbeam.
Thank
Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye,
Bye,
Dashi.
Dashi.
you. Bye.
This